Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to talk about something that's kind of counterintuitive, right? The power of quiet authority. We're going to explore how saying less can actually make people respect you more.
So, have you ever noticed this? You're in a room, maybe a meeting, and there's that one person who barely says a word. But when they finally do speak, everyone just stops and listens. It's a really strange but super powerful dynamic, isn't it?
It's such a weird paradox, right? Because we're always told, speak up, be heard. But what if the more you talk, the less people actually listen? It's like your words just become background noise, kind of like a single drop of ink, just disappearing into a whole ocean.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. You've got two paths here. Path 1, constant talking. Your words start to lose their value, they just become noise. But path 2, strategic silence. That's when people start to lean in. They're actually curious about what you're going to say. It's the huge difference between just being heard and being truly listened to.
But look, this isn't some kind of magic trick, you know? It's not a Jedi mind trick or anything like that. It all comes down to psychology. It's about understanding how communication really works. And once you get the why behind the power of silence, you can absolutely start using it to your advantage.
All right, so let's pull back the curtain on this. Let's get into the actual psychology behind it. We're going to break down 3 main principles that explain why being quiet can command so much respect.
Okay, principle number 1, silence shows confidence. I mean, think about it. The most confident person you know, are they the one who's always talking, always the loudest? Probably not. They're just comfortable. They don't have that nervous energy that makes them feel like they have to fill every single second of silence.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? People who talk too much often try to prove something. Silent people don't need approval. It's so true. When someone talks nonstop, it can almost feel like they're looking for validation, for approval. But real, deep confidence, it's quiet. It doesn't need a megaphone to be heard, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful.
All right, principle number 2 is all about control. See, when you're quiet, you're not just passively waiting for your turn to speak. No way. You're actually observing, you're listening, you're processing everything. You're holding your cards close to your chest, and that, my friends, gives you a massive strategic advantage in pretty much any situation.
And what happens when you hold your cards close? You create a little bit of mystery. People in the room start wondering, what are they thinking? And that curiosity, that is an incredibly powerful tool. It makes them want to know your opinion. It makes them value your perspective. So when you finally do decide to speak, your words land with so much more weight.
This brings us to this idea of perceived value. Honestly, it's kind of like a superpower. When your words are a scarce resource, their value just skyrockets. It's basic economics, right? Scarcity creates value. The same exact principle applies to what you say. The less you say, the more valuable it becomes.
Which leads us perfectly into our third and final principle. Silence gives your words impact. Seriously, when you speak sparingly, your words cut through everything else. They're like a sudden spotlight in a dark room. Everyone's attention just snaps right to it.
Let's put a number on it. Imagine 90% of a conversation is just, well, noise, filler, static. The words of the quiet person, that's the 10% signal. That's the clarity. That's what actually matters. And that's why people listen, because it's so rare in a sea of just chatter. So here's the bottom line on this part. Your words are a resource. And just like any other resource, if there's too much of it, the value goes down. It's simple supply and demand. But when you're selective, when you choose your moments, every single word you say carries more weight, more intention, and way more power. Okay, so that's the why. We get the psychology now. But how do you actually do this? Let's get super practical. We're going to walk through 4 simple rules you can start using today to put silence into practice. Here they are, your 4 pillars. First, just pause before you reply. Take a beat. It gives you a second to think and makes you sound so much more thoughtful. Second, listen more, speak less. Try to listen twice as much as you talk. You'll be shocked at what you pick up on. Third, you don't have to explain everything. Let people connect the dots. And number 4, this one is huge. Stay calm in conflict. This is where silence becomes your ultimate superpower. Let's zero in on that last one, because honestly, it's a total game changer. Think about it. An argument needs fuel to keep going, right? And that fuel is your emotional reaction. When you choose to be silent, you're basically refusing to pour gasoline on the fire. You're not engaging. Your silence becomes this incredible shield that protects your own peace of mind.
And this, right here, is the definition of emotional maturity. It's that strength to realize, you know what? Not everything needs a response. It's knowing you don't have to take every piece of bait that's thrown your way. It's choosing your own peace over the need to be right. And let me tell you, that kind of quiet strength earns a level of respect that arguing never will.
Okay, so as we start to wrap this up, let's boil it all down. What's the final takeaway here? What's the one big idea you should walk away with about your silent advantage?
It all comes down to this one powerful idea. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. So many of us are taught to think that being quiet means you're weak or passive, but that's just not true. When you use it with intention, silence is one of the clearest signs of wisdom and self-control there is.
So remember this, you don't have to prove yourself to be respected. You really don't. True respect isn't won by being the loudest person in the room or winning every argument. It's earned quietly, through your actions and your presence. Let what you do be your loudest statement.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. In a world that just keeps getting louder and louder, what will your silence say about you? What message will it send about your confidence, your wisdom, and your strength?